segment of the show today, and we're talking to Coach Lawrence Cole, the head football coach at Tennessee State University, and he's talking about some of the things that the Tennessee Oilers have done in terms of bringing a different attitude to the institution. You know, Coach Cole, one of the things I think we certainly have to talk about during this period is the classics. I think you've had one classic in Memphis this time that there were some 60-odd thousand people. Now, what does that mean to you as a coach of a traditional historical black institution? You know, you've been to Morgan State and others, but you've never played in front of that kind of crowd before at an historical institution, has it?
Right, no. Well, you know, I think a lot of people are curious about Tennessee State. I look back on last year, we set some attendance records, you know, pretty much. But this year, we're kind of like blowing it out of the circuit here. Now everybody's just kind of real curious. And I guess sometimes I say to myself, I guess I keep the program where, you know, everybody curious about Tennessee State. Because one time we having a tryout, sometimes we don't have players, this, that. So a lot of people are curious, but you know, to play in front of a crowd, I think that was remarkable. It tells you the potential that Tennessee State football program has. And I think what's happening is right now, everybody's seeing the program is starting to come back, and back in the day, you know. And I always just say that as a reference, but we will never be the football team we were back in the John Merritt days. We have to let that go, but what we can do is get that belief back into the people that, or who has that feeling about, man, it feels like it was back in the John Merritt days. I heard that a lot when we was up in Memphis last week. But we're curious. The people can't sit in the stands and say, well, they just gonna run up the middle or they just gonna run around the end. Now they come out there and they see a show. And I'm a big believer in here, and I always say defense win games and offense sell tickets. And that's what our offense make people very curious. I mean, the things that we do on offense is very exciting, and I think they like the way our defense runs around. I think that's very curious, and you know, and not taking anything away from Jackson State, you know, they brought a lot of people to that game too.
Yeah, very good. You know, Coach, as we wrap up these last 3 or 4 minutes that we have here, let's give you an opportunity to say something about some of your players. I think you've already talked about your staff and whatnot, and let's talk about some of your players and some of the people that you believe are standouts and people that are contributing to your team, and from that perspective, if you so wish.
Right. I usually always, I'm a big team guy, and you know, sometimes I hate to separate one guy from the other guy, but you always, each individual is blessed with a different talent, and then we have that on our team. But